Have you ever wondered why some antique dolls seem to stare right through your soul? Why their painted-on smiles feel more like warnings than welcomes? Why their cold, glass eyes appear to follow your every move when shadows grow long? After what happened to me last Halloween, I learned that sometimes these porcelain prisoners hold secrets darker than we could ever imagine. It started at my grandmother's estate sale, on a crisp October afternoon when the maple leaves outside blazed crimson like drops of blood. Among the dusty, leather-bound books and tarnished Victorian silverware sat a doll that seemed to demand attention. She was perched on a faded velvet chair, her once white dress now yellowed with age, its intricate lace collar fraying at the edges. Her porcelain face was flawless, too flawless, with high rosy cheeks and lips painted into a knowing smile that made my skin crawl. Long auburn curls made of real human hair cascaded down her shoulders, and her eyes, God, those eyes. They were hand-painted glass, a striking shade of emerald green with tiny golden flecks that caught the light in impossible ways. A silver locket hung from her neck on a delicate chain, its surface etched with strange symbols that seemed to shift and change when viewed from different angles. "Beautiful, isn't she?" the estate agent said, making me jump. Her sudden appearance sent a jolt of adrenaline through my body. "Your grandmother called her Adelaide. Apparently she's been in the family for generations, handcrafted in Vienna, according to the papers we found." I'd never seen this doll during my visits, despite spending countless hours exploring every corner of the old Victorian house, from its creaky attic to its dank root cellar. Something about finding her now, after grandmother's passing, felt wrong. Yet I couldn't leave her behind. It was as if invisible threads were pulling me toward her, weaving themselves around my fingers as I reached out to pick her up. Her porcelain skin felt unnaturally warm to the touch. That night, I placed Adelaide on my bedroom shelf, between my collection of vintage books and a brass astronomical clock. Her glass eyes reflected the moonlight that filtered through my lace curtains, creating tiny points of light that danced across the walls like fireflies. As I drifted off to sleep, I could have sworn I heard the faintest whisper, "Finally." The word seemed to float on the air like frost. The nightmares began immediately. Each night, I'd find myself trapped in a Victorian nursery, its wallpaper peeling to reveal writhing shadows beneath. I'd watch helplessly as Adelaide grew larger, more lifelike, her porcelain skin becoming flesh as mine hardened and cracked. She'd dance around me in elaborate circles, her feet barely touching the warped floorboards, singing in a child's voice about the trade and how fair is fair. The song was in a language I didn't understand, yet somehow its meaning burrowed into my mind like poisoned honey. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, my throat raw from screaming, only to find the doll had moved. Sometimes just inches, sometimes clear across the room. Once, I found her sitting at my vanity, her tiny porcelain hand resting on my hairbrush, but it was the locket that revealed the true horror. One morning, after a particularly vivid nightmare, I found it open, its silver surface warm despite the autumn chill in my room. Inside was a tiny daguerreotype of a young girl who looked eerily like me, the same high cheekbones, the same widow's peak, the same slightly crooked smile. The date inscribed beneath it in flowing script, October 31st, 1873. As I stared at the image, the girl's eyes seemed to blink, and for a moment I saw tears rolling down her silver-toned cheeks. Research at the local library revealed a disturbing pattern, hidden in yellowing newspapers and crumbling family journals. Every generation of my family had lost a daughter mysteriously on Halloween night, their bodies never found. The disappearances always coincided with the doll being passed down, a gruesome inheritance of loss. The most recent had been my grandmother's sister, Elizabeth, who vanished in 1943. Her diary, which I found tucked behind a loose brick in the basement, described dreams identical to mine in the days leading up to Halloween. I tried destroying Adelaide. Fire wouldn't touch her. The flames curved around her like water around a stone. Water wouldn't damage her. She emerged from my bathtub completely dry, her painted smile seeming wider than before. Even a hammer bounced off her porcelain skin, leaving not a scratch, but sending shockwaves of pain through my own body. With each failed attempt, the nightmares grew worse, and Adelaide's smile seemed to widen. Sometimes I'd catch her lips moving in the mirror's reflection, though she remained still when I turned to look. 3 days before Halloween, I woke to find my skin had become hard and smooth like porcelain. My joints creaked when I moved, a sound like ancient doors swinging on rusted hinges. In the mirror, my eyes had taken on the same glassy sheen as Adelaide's, and I swore I could see tiny cracks starting to form around my pupils, like a porcelain doll that had been dropped and imperfectly repaired. I knew then what the trade was, why the doll had been passed down through generations of my family's daughters. Each Halloween, a girl would be chosen to take Adelaide's place in the doll, while Adelaide would walk free in their body. My grandmother had protected me by hiding the doll away, but now that she was gone, the cycle had found me. Halloween is tomorrow night. As I write this, my fingers are stiffening, becoming more doll-like with each passing hour. The skin around my knuckles has developed a glossy sheen, and I can hear a faint tinkling sound when I tap them against my desk. Adelaide sits beside me, her painted lips now curved into an unmistakable grin. I can feel her pulling at my soul, ready to make the trade that will trap me in porcelain for the next generation. The symbols on her locket are glowing now, casting strange shadows on my walls that seem to form words in a language older than time. If you're reading this, beware of innocent-looking dolls with knowing smiles and histories that don't quite make sense. Check their lockets for photos of the girls they used to be. Notice if their eyes seem to hold memories no doll should possess. And if you ever meet a doll named Adelaide, run. Run before she chooses you as her next vessel, before you feel your skin hardening and your soul being pulled into a porcelain prison. Run before you become another chapter in her centuries-old story of stolen lives and forbidden trades. If you enjoyed this tale of porcelain horror, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our growing family of horror enthusiasts here at Unholy Tales. Ring that bell to never miss our weekly doses of terror, and leave a comment below sharing your own creepy doll encounters. Your story could be featured in our next video. Tomorrow's upload will reveal another spine-chilling story that might just keep you awake all night, assuming Adelaide lets me live long enough to share it.